Hello, bonjour, my name is Claudia François, and I am a teacher of French language at the University of Reading. And I would like to talk to you more specifically about the way we teach language and what we teach in our language provision at the University of Reading. How do we teach? We teach in classes using the approach, the integrated skills approach, meaning we try to teach all the competencies together without splitting the written and the oral and the listening. We try to compound all this in all our classes. So we use French most of the time. In first year, it could be slightly different. If we need some explanation in English, that can be arranged, but very quickly we shift onto using French only, especially in the speaking class, obviously. So we try to develop all the skills in those classes. So we talk about grammar in French, we talk about reading comprehension in French, we do some translation into English, into French, trying to develop all those skills that make good linguists, basically. We adapt our material so that students discover on their own. Students are encouraged to ask questions, to be curious about the way the language works. It's very important for them to grasp earlier on how it works, to be able to produce very efficient and very precise and accurate language. So we use authentic documents that we develop so that we can use them for teaching, in the shape of news articles, videos, but also literature extracts, to also talk about current affairs, to be able to expose students to all sorts of structures, complicated language, but also more simple language, journalistic language, but also more literary French. So that's to try and touch on many genres. We do use these documents and adapt them for classroom teaching. So some students might find that challenging at first, and then learn from it. Absolutely learn and progress, definitely progress. The news articles are very interesting because we encourage students to read a lot of articles and to read outside of the class, obviously. But reading about current affairs will build a knowledge of why France is what it is and what it's like as well at the time they're reading about it. So it's essential. What do we teach? We teach a range of topics through the year to be able to develop topic-specific vocabulary, but also to be able to look at a broad view of France and the French-speaking world, but also to touch on students' interest. So not to keep in touch, to keep all these aspects in check, basically. So la francophonie is a given. La culture française, so looking at arts, and how la culture française is expanding or is seen around the world, let's say. L'image des banlieues, very important for when you talk about French identity, and the French youth, because we'll talk about the youth and politics. So again, those topics are not too far apart, obviously, to be able to reuse the vocabulary, to be able to build from previous learning, from different qualifications and different topics that have been covered since students have been studying the language, basically. Les médias français, very important. A key hot topic at the moment, talking about the freedom of speech and so on. La publicité, quite a nice one too. So, et les inventions et les progrès, because we cannot do without them, especially these days. So we try to see a range of topics so that students can to bridge gaps and look at their culture modules and envisage them with maybe a French speaker's view on them and so on. So it's to make all this very, very close and to teach, to tell them that the language and the culture have to go hand in hand, and they do go hand in hand. We encourage, obviously, and we develop different skills such as independent work, Communication because of group work, obviously, to build confidence as well also. Presentation skills because students are expected to do presentations either individually or in group. So all of this will make well-rounded linguists at the end of their degree, but we try to build that every year, to build these skills to grow stronger and stronger, so that students with confidence and if they're comfortable using all these skills, will definitely build on, will go abroad, will definitely show off what they know. Typical material and typical activity we would do in class is talking about caricatures within les médias français. So asking students if they recognize the people being caricatured on the screen. So Brigitte Macron is not very, not that obvious. So again, a knowledge of who Brigitte Macron is and her husband, obviously Emmanuel Macron being the third caricature, and Stromae, who is a character, a person, a VIP that students will absolutely know. So describing them, but also trying to draw a definition of what caricature is. What are the main aspects of a good caricature. And this will draw us onto talking about le dessin de presse, which is very important in French culture and in the French built into French newspapers and part of the news. Freedom of speech is also very important, this allows students to talk freely about their opinion and what they think about XYZ dessin de presse and current affairs and what constitutes a good dessin de presse and so on. So talking about all the hot topics, the current hot topics being Brexit, immigration, the climate change, but also freedom of speech and what happened in Charlie Hebdo. Then to quickly recap on what was said, I just want to point out the fact that the content, but also the way we deliver our classes are very much intertwined. They very much go together, and this is with the view to help students build their confidence, build their skills, so that they go out there in the world, wherever that is, and are able to use their language and to build more and more knowledge and more skills with their languages.